Hello everyone, it's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. Hope everyone's doing good. Hope everyone's doing fine on this Wednesday morning, guys. Wednesday, what a day Wednesday is. I mean, when I think about Wednesday, I think about 98-99 Champions League final. Every single time I wake up in a Wednesday since 1999, I think about when we won the Champions League. Sorry, guys, to mention the Champions League, because it was depressing yesterday watching the Champions League, of course. I didn't do a watch-along. I just can't deal with the depression that we're not in the major tournament, which we should be in, to be honest with you. It takes a lot away from the tournament. Man United are not in that tournament, isn't it? We got the likes of Newcastle and Tottenham in there, for goodness sake. God blimey. What kind of Champions League is this? You know what I mean? And yeah, it's very depressing. But guys, before I start, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, smash a like on the video. Guys, put your notifications on as well, guys. It's going to be a big one. Guys, now let's get into it. In regards to Manchester United, transfer news circulating around Manchester United, that Manchester United are interested in Brentford and Brentford's central midfielder, Igor Yaremchuk. Igor Yaremchuk. He is a Ukrainian international footballer, 21 years old, currently playing for Brentford, can play as a central midfielder, can play as an attacking midfielder. Manchester United have been scouting this player for a number of weeks, and he is an option to fill in the void in that midfield position. Now, Igor, let's call him Igor, is worth around 15 million euros, although that could obviously increase significantly if Manchester United are interested in, because there is that Manchester United tax, of course, guys. Now, this guy, of course, is incredibly talented. There's another name, a new name off the block in regards to who Manchester United are chasing. That is interesting, this one. Having come from the Dnipro youth system, of course, he has jumped leaps and bounds over these last few months, indeed a year, and he's has a lot of watchers, onlookers in regards to his talent and acquiring this player. Now, look, this is exactly what the thing I was saying about, scouting players and trying to cut out the middleman, so to speak, trying to cut out the middleman, trying to get rid of the middleman, and trying to, sign players before other teams get to him, before his price goes astronomically higher, if you know what I mean. So another player that has been signed, has been scouted, and now Man United won. Now we need to cut out that middleman, and we need to go to the likes of Ukraine and Serbia, all these countries, and try and find these players again, like we used to with the likes of Nemanja Vidic, of course, guys, who we signed obviously from Serbia. So we need to start doing things like that again, guys, to try and save some money. If we're really interested in saving some money, maybe we need to invest in some proper scouts, right, to find some players. But Igor Yaremchuk is a midfielder currently playing for Brentford. Manchester United are interested in, 21 years old, fixed the void for Manchester United. And it's a player that, it is not what many people have heard of, not expected in regards to this signing. It's not expected, of course. But yeah, look, great that we know about him, great that we're scouting him. But again, the frustrating thing for me is that we are not scouting these players before they become stars, of course, guys, absolutely. Now, another little bit of transfer news in regards to Man United is a name that we've heard of many, many times. And many of us have said on this channel, in this community, that this player would be perfect for Manchester United. His name's Denzel Dumfries. Now, Denzel Dumfries, of course, a Dutch international right wing back, who will fit Ruben Amorim's system to a T. It'll be absolutely perfect because he's perfect in that position. Now, this is the thing we were saying in the summer, that Manchester United needed to bring in that right wing back, needed to get the right wing back sorted. This is one of those guys. I know he's 29 years old. I know he's 29 years old. I know he's getting on, but he would have added a little bit of steel, a little bit of experience in that back line, and a guy who has the know-how how to play the system, guys, how to play the system. And Man United are still interested in him. He's still valued at around 35 million euros. It's quite a lot for a 29-year-old. Contract expires in 2028, of course. It's a lot of money. And as Ineos have said, they don't want to spend too much on players that are over 26 years old. So where do we go from here, guys? Where do we go from here? We can either get the young player or get one experienced player, a couple of experienced players. I think we do need a little bit of experience within our teams. Denzel Dumfries on that right-hand side will be perfect for Manchester United. And this is what we're talking about. Just like we talk about Van der Sar, Just like we talk about Frimpong, these type of players that we need in this team, because our right-hand side is completely zero at the moment. Our right-hand side, we have nobody on that right-hand side. We have Ahmad, who's not a wing-back. He can't play it. We have Dalot, who's a full-back. We have Mazraoui, who's a full-back, not wing-backs. We need a proper specialised wing-back. You know, the likes of, if I could compare the sort of player that we need a Cafu, you know, a Cafu. We need a Roberto Carlos and a Cafu. Those are the kind of players that we need. And if we got those players, you would see a whole new dynamic to this system, guys. You know, the system that Johan Cruyff's Barcelona played, you know, Gasparini of Atalanta, the most successful Atalanta team of all time, have played this system, of course. Oh, what about Xabi Alonso of Bayer Leverkusen, who played this system, guys? What about Conte at Chelsea, who won the league with this system, guys? You know, what about Pep Guardiola, who transitions into a three at the back? He has our system as well. So, look, I want to tell you guys, stop. We need to play this system. It's not the system. It is the players in the system. And if Ineos got their finger out and actually supported Ruben Amorim, we would have got there. We would be okay right now. But they didn't support. They didn't finish the job. They left the job half done. It's still derelict. So we need to think about that, guys. So yeah, let me know what your thoughts, guys, on these transfer rumours. Of course, you know what? It's not what we want to hear anyway, but it's very important that Man United is still keeping an eye out for talent. We do need more signings, of course. We can't do anything right now. It's either going to be in January or it's going to be in the summer. And we left it late, of course, which is obviously harmed Ruben Amorim, so to speak, you know, at the end of the day. Big up everyone in the stream. I hope you're all doing well. Good to see you all in the stream, guys. Big up Ephraim. How you doing, my friend? Good morning, Sal. Yesterday I feel like Champions League pain. Absolutely. Ephraim, Sal, it does not make sense without giving the tools for sacking a manager. It doesn't, mate. It doesn't. And look, guys, I want to talk about this news about Ruben Amorim has 3 games left to save his career at Manchester United. Now, who are those 3 games against? That is Chelsea, Brentford, and Sunderland. Now, in reality, I would say he has to get 9 points out of 9 here. He has to get 9 points out of 9. The very minimum that he can get, I think, is 7 points out of 3, which means draw against Chelsea, beat Brentford, and beat Sunderland. It has to be. It's a given. I know that. It's very important that we win against these teams. I actually think we're going to beat Chelsea. I actually think that the game against Brentford will be harder than Chelsea. I know it sounds a little bit delusional at the moment, but and probably is to many people. But, you know, I believe that we'll beat Chelsea. I actually do. And I actually think that Ruben Amorim will not play Bruno in that midfield, and he shouldn't be playing Bruno in that midfield anymore. But obviously, the news circulating is that he has 3 games to save his job. And there has been a list of players, managers, should I say, that are being linked to the Manchester United job. Some of those managers are Gareth Southgate, Glasner, Xavi, Conte. You know, we've got also Areola. We got him. Of course, Zinedine Zidane is another one off the chopper block. Now, look, guys, I'm looking at the list of these managers here. I mean, Unai Emery. You know, I'm looking at the list of these managers here, and I'm like, do any of these managers really stick out for you and think, wow, he's the guy? He's the guy. And I don't want to really talk about new managers because our manager's Ruben Amorim. And Ruben Amorim, we need to support. We need to support him. Cristiano Ronaldo mentioned the problems at this football club. He mentioned how deep the problems are at this football club. Ralf Rangnick spoke about open heart surgery, the problems and culture at this football club. Everyone's so quick to quote Ralf Rangnick and talk about open heart surgery. But when it comes to open heart surgery, they bottle out of the whole open heart surgery. They don't really want open heart surgery. And open heart surgery basically means we stick to the plan and we get rid of the toxicity before we move forward. All right? And that's what it is. Guys, absolutely. Jose Mourinho spoke about the culture at this football club, spoke about the problems at this football club. You know, there are so many people in this, legends of the game, that have spoken about our football club when they've been in the football club. You know? Absolutely. Good morning, Mark. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Deliver some good news, please. Always good news. We got transfer news, which is good. Of course, guys, it's something away from football. The good news is that we got another opportunity, Mark, on Saturday to do something, you know, and beat Chelsea and maybe go on a run. Big up, my friend Sanjay. Good morning, Benny. How you doing, you legend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Good morning, Mark. How you doing? Good morning. I'm skeptical of this news coming out a few days after disaster on Manchester United. Understandable. Seems like the news to take focus off the results and performances. Could be. It could be at the end of the day, but who knows? One thing I do know is that we have to sign players, and they will sign players. I mean, Dumfries is an obvious one. Man United do need a right wing back. And we should have got these deals done in the summer. We should have got these deals done in the summer, especially Dumfries. We haven't got no right side, guys. We haven't got no right side. And, and then we're looking at, obviously, the midfield, which we are trying to fix at the moment, which it should have been fixed in the summer, guys. I don't know why they didn't do it then. And this is where the problem comes. Now, let me give you an example where the problem lies. Now, a lot of people are talking about Bruno Fernandes in that midfield position. Now, Bruno Fernandes has the idea and philosophy of an attacking midfielder, basically a number 10. What do attacking midfielders and number 10s do in the game? What do? They create, right? They make long balls, they pass, they score. Now, when you put, for example, an attacking player in a number 8 position that is primarily an attacking player, you're going to get hero balls. You're going to get misplaced passes. You're going to get ill discipline in the position, because that's what's going to happen, because you are not experienced in that position. So this is where Ruben Amorim needs to fix it. This is where Ruben Amorim needs to say that, you know what, Bruno can't play in that position. He either plays number 10 or he plays nothing. And that should be the philosophy. Now, I firmly believe that Bruno Fernandes, after what he said in the media about Lenny Yoro and other players, of course, I think he should be out the team now. I think that is, if you want to talk about culture, if you want to talk about discipline, we're so quick to discipline Garnacho, right, for doing these things. Maybe it's about time we disciplined Bruno Fernandes for doing that too. Now, Roy Keane, a legend of the football club, got sacked for doing exactly the same thing. That's what we have to talk about. Look, now, guys, when I look at things on the outset, I'm not saying that Ruben Amorim is the savior of Manchester United. I don't know what's going to happen with Ruben Amorim. I really don't. One thing I do know is that there are problems at this football club that stem more than just one person. They are a new number of multi-layered problems at this football club that have been there for years, and they're still not cleared. It's still not fixed. Like we said yesterday, we still have 9 players from the Europa League final in our team, in our squad. Even more. Only Onana and Rasmus Højlund didn't start the Europa League final, no longer at the football club. Good morning, Kazi. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Really good to see you. Good morning, Gray, legend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing this. See you. Smash the like. Thank you so much. Let's get to 50 likes, guys. Very important we get to 50 likes, of course. Did we sign Nemanja from the Russian side? Yes, we did, but he's from Ukraine. Serbia, sorry. He's from Serbia. So this is what I'm talking about, the area, the Balkans, that we need to sign from. These kind of players. I think we signed him from Dynamo. Didn't we sign him from not a Russian side? Was it a Russian side? Might have been Sparta Moscow, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, doesn't matter. Sanjay, morning, Sal. I wouldn't take Dumfries, to be honest. He fits the system, doesn't he, Daryl? He fits the system. And the only problem I would have with Dumfries is his number 1 is age. Number 2 is price tag. Is quite a lot of money for him. Good to see you, Gary. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Good to see you. At the end of the day, he's 29. Morning, Afro Suit. Morning, Sal. Amorim is on the ice. If it's him against the world, decision is horrible. We can't win the passengers midfield. He needs drivers and warriors in that midfield. And is that his fault, Afro Suit? Is that his fault? We said from the beginning that Ruben Amorim has been thrown into the sharks. What did we say at the beginning of the season? Ruben Amorim has been let down. Why do you think I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 10 window? Why do you think I weren't giving that just to be nasty, to be sinister? It was a 4 out of 5, 10 window because they didn't fix the midfield. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, they didn't fit the midfield. So when you're looking at what he was given half a team. He was given half a team. He wasn't given the full team, and that's what it is. He was given half a team, and what I would say is that, how would I say it? If we fix that midfield and that right wing back position, we'll be in a different position right now, guys. Exactly. Dixon. Exactly. We need a specialized players for the system. We do, Dixon. Big up, Dixon, by the way. Hope you're doing well. We do. How can you get a manager with a distinctive style of play, right, and not back him with the players that he needs? How can you do that? Especially the midfield and the right wing-back position. That system right there is a system that relies heavily on the wing-back positions. Heavily on the wing-back positions to get the creativity from the wings. And we haven't got that. not least on the right-hand side. Yeah, not least on the right-hand side, you know. Nemanja Vidic came from Serbia, by the way. He played for Belgrade. He was on loan at Spartak Moscow, just to let you guys know. Daryl, we need midfielders and another striker and two right wing backs, left wing back. Yeah, I agree, Daryl. Absolutely. We've been linked to Dumfries for a while, but I don't think he will sign him because of his age profile, Sal. So I agree, he'd be perfect for the system. We need a better scouting department. We do need a better scouting department. But they don't even need a scouting department. They just need to tune into Stretford Post because we got a player called Vanderson who's currently in the Brazil national team playing for Monaco who we could possibly get. So why don't we go after him? He fits the bill perfectly. He's the perfect player. He's the new Carfu. This guy, Vanderson, and I've been talking about him for weeks and I've been talking about him for months. These are the type of signings you should have been after. And people say, no, Sal, we don't need a right wing back. We don't need it. You know, we can cope with that. Here we are. Where we are in this situation. We knew it would happen. Donovan. Big up, Donovan. How you doing? Big up, Benny. We need a midfielder definitely in January. Absolutely. Is Ineos going to bring back some of the scouts they let go so we can accomplish the critical work for the club? I doubt they will. We have not invested in the scouting department, but if they need help with the scouting department, I'm here. If they need help, I can help them with that. Absolutely. And I can get you bargains too, you know, but they don't seem to be focused on improving the squad. And this is the biggest downer for me. They don't seem focused primarily on fixing the squad and making Manchester United into a force. They've really thrown Ruben Amorim into the sharks, right? And this is what I'm saying here. Regardless of what people think about Ruben Amorim, whether Ruben Amorim's right, whether Ruben Amorim's wrong, whether Ruben Amorim's system and this and that, he has been failed this summer and in January. He's been failed. And that is the overriding fact of everything, right? If he wasn't failed, maybe we would have beaten Fulham. Maybe we would have probably drawn against Arsenal because we would have had a different goalkeeper, you know? Maybe we'll have a few more points on the board. You know what I mean? And that's what I'm talking about, you know? And now, look, as predicted, as I said months ago, we're talking about Ineos. We're talking about the Glazers. We were talking about them for weeks and weeks and weeks, right? About they're this, they're that, and don't blame Ruben Amorim when the season starts. Think about the context, blah, blah, blah. And we all agreed about that. But as soon as Ruben Amorim loses a couple of games, get him out of my club. He's not the right guy for the club. Get him out. Now, I'm not saying he's the right man for the club, right? But I'm just giving you an example. I'm giving an example exactly of the trick and the trap that you guys are falling into, which is get him out of my club syndrome, right? Get him out of my club syndrome, which is ridiculous. And people who don't understand this, don't understand what Man United, the problems at Man United, don't understand anything what's going on at Man United. Ruben Amorim has also hinted that there are more problems at this football club than meets the eye, you know? Darren, big up, Darren. How you doing? We need to start winning games. We have forgotten how to win. The players have, yeah, and that's been going on for years. So I agree with you. We need Dumfries, or like you said, Vanderson will be perfect. Absolutely, absolutely. Sad it isn't in the Champions League. Absolutely. Big up, Chandal C. Big up yourself. Big up, Donovan. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Daryl, he's not going to change Bruno for number 8. If he does, I would love that. I do support him, but I know he needs to drop. He needs to drop Bruno completely. Daryl, he needs to drop Bruno completely. And let's forget about what he does on the football pitch. Let's think about what he done in that interview. That alone is enough to drop Bruno. You do not take it upon yourself like you're bigger than a manager, you're bigger than a football club, and you're better than all your teammates to slag off your teammates in the media, especially a player like Lenny Yoro, who, in all honesty, has been probably our best player consistently over the last year or so, isn't it? You know, so he needs to take accountability as well. He doesn't take accountability. And let me tell you something that's really dangerous, is players who do not take accountability, players who do not know they're not performing. Because in his head, he's just like a Nana. In his head, he thinks that I'm doing everything. I'm the best. That is very dangerous because he's made, 2-3 mistakes already, goal-costing mistakes this season, you know? Big up, Daryl. Kenny, a good thing about not being in the Champions League is that I can sleep properly because the Champions League timing in Australia is horrible. It is horrible in the UAE as well. Kickoffs are generally about 11 p.m. Guys, I remind you, I live with my wife, so I can't actually... do too many watch-alongs at this late hour because I'll be screaming and shouting. I'm a passionate person, do you know what I mean? She can hear me from miles away. Absolutely. So, you know, especially when Man United are playing, it's absolutely incredible. Like, absolutely. I am a nutter. Marky Mark, good morning, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Morning, Southern community. How are you, my friend? Very good to see you. Back the manager till the end. Glory go Man United, Marky Mark. And that's the attitude to have, guys. And that is what Marky Mark is. Legend. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Marky Mark. Unfortunately, Amraman's in the 3 games to score his job. That is a rumour, of course, APN. And he will do it. He'll win all 3. I'm saying you now, right now, APN, he will win all 3 of those games. I don't care. He will win all 3. Absolutely. Agree. Is that big up, Darren. Big up, my friend. As usual. Sal, we are changing the culture of the team, but our players are left to have shift out. Absolutely. It's not fixed. Exactly. Benny, I say it again, accountability. Players yesterday held themselves accountable, and that's why they were successful. Absolutely. How many times have you seen a player back in the day come out in the media and say, look, I don't want to talk about anything else. Me, myself, I have to do better. I have to do better. How many managers have come out in the past and said, I have to do better? You know, many managers have come out in the past, haven't it? You know, and he comes out and he's just pointing the finger. He's like that on the football pitch as well. Your fault, not looking at me. Look, at the end of the day, I would understand if he turned around and said, look, me as well, I'm a problem. I made mistakes. I'm not playing to my best of my ability. He didn't do that once. That's what's very disappointing. Any player signed before 2023, get rid. I agree, Darren. I agree. My first thing, like I said yesterday, the first thing that I would have done when I walked into this football club, I would have done this. I would have said, right, who's been here, for example, post 2023? If like the likes of Luke Shaw have been here for 8 years, 8 managers, should I say? 8 managers, not even 8 years. He's been here longer than that, 12 years, isn't he? So what I would say is that, look, first of all, I don't want Luke Shaw at this football club. That would have been the first thing I did, Darren. First thing I did, I don't want Luke Shaw. Why don't you want Luke Shaw? Because Luke Shaw has sacked 8 managers. He's been around for 8 managers. So I don't want him at the football club because I don't trust him. That would have been the first thing I'd done. The first thing I'd done, that would have been. And then it would have been, all right, who's after him? Okay, Marcus Rashford, get rid of. Who's after him? Okay, Bruno Fernandes, get rid of. It would have been like that. I'm sorry, but it would have been like that because I would have wanted to clear out the players that have that toxicity, that have witnessed it for various managers. Do you know what I mean? And you're absolutely spot on, Darren, because this is what it is. Post 2023, absolutely spot on. But we still have these players at the football club from 2014, for crying out loud. Add 10 years to that. You know, it's crazy. Big up, Grayo. Only 17 likes, guys. 50 likes is the minimum, guys. Please, I've got 117 in the house right now. Please don't forget to smash a like. I should get 100 likes, guys. Come on, guys. You guys, be nice. Be nice. Come on. Big up, everyone. Marky Mark, I blame Ineos for not getting the signings. I agree, Marky Mark. Spot on, mate. And there's rarely anything gets by you, Mark, because you're absolutely spot on. At the end of the day, they did not get the players, right? Should Ruben Amorim be performing better? Absolutely, he should be performing better. And I'm not exempting Ruben Amorim from anything because Ruben Amorim has made some tactical errors. He has. In regards to team selection, in regards to Bruno Fernandes, me and my dog can see that Bruno Fernandes is not working, right? So he should have changed that. And I hold him accountable for that. But what I don't hold him accountable for is the inept transfer window, fixing the attack, not fixing anything else. You know what I mean? It's like building the base of the car and not having the wheels. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, that's what he's done. That's what's happened in this window. And that's why I gave it a 4 or 5 out of 10. And people were telling me, how can you give it a 4 or 5 out of 10? It's a 7, 8 out of 10. I couldn't believe my ears, what I was hearing at the end of the day. The Glazers love you. Ineos love you. I knew this would be the case. I knew this would happen. Absolutely. Good morning, Stephen. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you again, my bro. Good to see you. Kevin, how you doing, my friend? Carlos Baleba is true. Liverpool is chasing him. Hope it becomes to Manchester United. Now, Kevin, Liverpool were interested in Carlos Baleba way before we were interested in him. We were kind of interested in him, but Liverpool almost signed Carlos Baleba a year ago. Now, this is what I've been saying, that Manchester United need to get some kind of agreement in place so that Baleba does not leave to go to the likes of Liverpool, Real Madrid, PSG, Chelsea, Arsenal, because all those teams there are going to be interested in Carlos Baleba. We needed to get this deal done. Whether we get an obligation, whether we get a verbal agreement, a gentleman's agreement, whatever you want to call it, Man United need to get this deal done in principle. That's what they need to do. So when it comes to the summer, we can get Baleba quickly without having to worry about the rivals that are there. Carlos Baleba is what Manchester United are missing right now. Why? Because Carlos Baleba can get that ball from the defensive area and bring that ball forward and act as a proper number 8, number 6, a modern day midfielder. He could do that perfectly. You know, and maybe we wouldn't have to suffer Bruno Fernandes so much. You know, and this is what we're talking about here. We fouled in this transfer window. We did. We all did. Because at the end of the day, I'm not pointing out one area of this football club that is the problem. Yes, Ineos do the deals. They're responsible. But many of us failed because we thought it was acceptable not to fix the midfield, not to fix the right wing-back position, not to get cover in the defence, not to get a backup striker, not to fix the squad, you know? And this is what we're talking about. Some of us are accountable as well because we're giving it a 7, 8 out of 10. 7, 8 out of 10. You even got people like Crooks in Talk Sport saying that Jim Ratcliffe's tenure at Man United has been an absolute nightmare so far. And I absolutely agree. It's been an absolute farce so far. His tenure at Manchester United has been awful. It's been horrible. You know, and this is what we have to be honest with ourselves. APN, I feel sorry for Amram and he uses 2 midfielders, but we have a wrong profile players. We need strong midfield. And he used to say that, what is that? He used to say that he has a slow midfield at pre-season game against Leeds United. He said it there, didn't he? There's the clue. Give us a clue, APN. Exactly. He said that our midfield was too slow. He knows it. He knows that our midfield is too slow. We do not have pace. We do not have athleticism in that midfield. So if we do not have his midfield, how are we supposed to succeed? This is down to Ineos. This is down to the Glazers. And I think we should hold them accountable. And stop blaming systems, guys. Stop blaming systems. The great Johan Cruyff of Barcelona, the great Barcelona side, played Ruben Amorim's system. Gasparini, the greatest Atalanta side there ever was, played Ruben Amorim's system. Conte won the league with Ruben Amorim's system. Xabi Alonso, the greatest Leverkusen side, probably since 2002, right? Played that system. Pep Guardiola transitions into a 3 at the back during the game, uses that system. So how can we just say it's the system? But what's the common demeanor here? What is the common demeanor here? What is it? What's the common demeanor here? They had the players to play that system. They had the players to play that system. Every one of those teams had the players to play that system. We don't. We don't. And that is Ruben Amorim's system. So why bring in a manager like Ruben Amorim? Why bring him in if we're not going to back him? If we're not going to give him the players that he wants? Why? It's insanity. We might as well get Sam Allardyce. You know, and this is what we're talking about. I would understand it then. Oh, that's the way they want to play. They're not bothered about that. So that's the way they want to play. We're trying to change the culture of this football club from a counter-attacking football team to a team that dominates football games on the front foot. But we need the players for that. We need the players for that. We don't leave the job half done. We don't fix the front and then not fix the midfield. So we got no one to supply to the front. It's insanity. It's insanity. Ridiculous. Absolutely. Ephraim. Sal, I hope Lamine start for Chelsea game. I hope so. I think he will, in my opinion. I haven't heard the names of these potential transfers, but it's great that we're looking at stuff like this. Big up, Gary. Good to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Stephen. So I'm hearing Ruben Amorim has 3 games to save his job. I blame the players. Millionaire footballers can't handle a system. What's the point then? You come from a generation, Stephen. I come from a generation that system didn't really matter. Do you think Zinedine Zidane in his prime cared about what France played? Another team that played 3 at the back, by the way. Do you think that Zinedine Zidane cared about what France played? You know, do you think Eka Davids, Clarence Seedorf, even Xabi Alonso, players like that, Paul Scholes, Roy Keane, cared about what system they played? These players want to blame everyone but themselves. You know, step off the train, walking down your street again. It's not everything but the girl. It's everything but Manchester United players because they want to blame every single person but themselves. They don't want to look at the man in the mirror. Maybe they need to switch on that Michael Jackson and look at that man in the mirror because they're definitely not looking at that man in the mirror. They're pointing the fingers at everyone else but themselves for crying out loud. In particular, our captain. Our captain's throwing the book at a young lad called Lenny Yoro, who's been probably, arguably, our best player over this last year. Let's be realistic, guys. Madness, insanity, and this is the culture that we are talking about, guys. This is the talk culture that I've been banging on about all month. Yeah, 2 months now. Culture at the football club, mentality at the football club. People think I'm preaching. People think I'm just talking nonsense. I'm using fancy words. But this is what the problem is at Manchester United. Cunha, Mateus Cunha. Amram was the one who didn't want Bruno to leave in the summer, remember? But that doesn't matter, Cunha. It wasn't just Amram. It wasn't just Amram. That's wrong. Ruben Amram had a say. But ultimately, the biggest decision was down to Vivell, Wilcox, and Barada. If Vivell, Wilcox, or Barada wanted Bruno to leave, Bruno would be out the door. Bruno said that if the board want me to leave, I will leave. Ruben Amram will obviously say, I want to keep Bruno, because the board promised him that we're still going to spend money. But they didn't spend money, did they? You know, it's very easy to point, we wanted to keep Bruno. But you got to look at the board there. Because that's why we got the adjudicator of people at our football club. That's why we got Wilcox, Barada, and Vivell, because of that. Because of the decisions. And you need to understand that. Daryl, 100%, Euro is class. He's been since he came to Bruno, just trying to dodge bullets, brother. Exactly. Even the game, his interview was a joke. Definitely dropped. I mean, he kicked up a hissy fit. He kicked up a hissy fit, and I think he needs to be dropped for the next game. Absolutely. Big up, my Soldier Rocks. Good to see you. Have a great day, my guy. I say that was a Glazer decision because Bruno is one of the biggest shirt sellers. Absolutely. Ineos decision. The free there. I told you, it's the free there. Ineos decision. Absolutely. Morning, William, my legend. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Of course. Benny, the chance was there on Sunday to stop putting Bruno into that midfield. He could have played him as a 10 with Mainu, Casemiro, and Ugarte. And this is where we get into the territory of what he done wrong. And as I said many, many times, guys, I'm not here to exclusively suck up to Ruben Amram, because I'm not. At the end of the day, I care about what happens at Manchester United. Right? I care. But maybe, just maybe, if we signed a couple of midfielders, which we should have done, he wouldn't be in that number 10 position. Maybe, just maybe, if Ineos decided to sell Bruno Fernandes, we wouldn't be in that position, would we, mate? You know, and that's what we're talking about. The decision-making at this football club. If Ineos said to Ruben Amram, right, Ruben, we're going to sell Bruno because we've got a £90 million offer, but we're going to get Baleba for you. Or but we're going to get Walton for you. We're going to Yavi Guerra, for you. We're going to get Amin Kamara for you. We're going to get Agume for you. Do you think actually that Ruben Amram would turn around and say, no, I want Bruno? You think he'll actually do that? He would have said, okay, fine, just get me a midfielder or two. That's what he would have done. But no, the board thought it wise. The board thought it would be wise to keep Bruno Fernandes and reject 90 to 100 million plus for him. Scandalous. 125, only 32 likes. Guys, listen, I'm being serious, guys. Don't forget to smash a like on the video, guys. Very, very important. Now, guys, obviously, what I would say is that it is annoying. It's frustrating. And we knew it would be this week, that there will be a lot of anger. There will be a lot of disgruntlement and disagreements within the Manchester United fans, right? That's what would have happened. Okay? But we're here to settle out and differentiate between the bullshit and the truth, right? Not everything is exclusively down to one thing. Not everything is exclusively down to your narrative. Just remember that. It is a multitude of things that are wrong at this football club that we always seem to be ignoring, at the end of the day. And we need to understand that, and we need to put a stop to this before we do another mistake. Marky Mark, you're exactly right, my friend. Big up, Marky Mark. Amram isn't exempt from blame, but Ineos Football IQ have to question. Absolutely. The overriding key is this, guys. The key is this, and this is like what would they say? The butterfly effect, right? I call it the butterfly effect. Now, if we sold Bruno Fernandes for 100 odd million, do you think we'll be in this situation right now? Now, people are going to say, but Ruben wanted to keep Bruno. It doesn't matter if Ruben wanted to keep Bruno. That has no relevance, because at the end of the day, the decision makers, why they're being brought to this club, are Ineos, are Vivell, Wilcox, Barada, and ultimately Jim Ratcliffe. It's those four right there. Those are the decision makers. So the butterfly effect is this. If they said, and they had used their common sense to think that, all right, Bruno Fernandes is 30-31, we're going to have to sell him now. What has he achieved at Man United? Not much, really. You know what I mean? Captain of the ship that came 15th, you know, lost many finals. Time to get him out of the club. And that's what should have happened, isn't it? That's what should have happened. And that's why we are here right now. 3 mistakes, goal-scoring mistakes down the line. 33, come on, guys. Keep smashing the likes, you absolute legends. Thank you so much. Darren, do what the legend Grayo wants and smash the like button. Thank you so much, Darren. Thank you, Grayo. Ephraim, so is there any protest planned? Nothing at the moment. The only protest was supposed to be planned before the Arsenal game, but they put an end to that. Why? How did they put an end to that? They put an end to that by using rumors about Baleba. They manipulated you. They manipulated you. They used that rumor that they're going to sign Baleba, telling us that they put in £100 million offer for Carlos Baleba when the offer was 50 million plus 5 million in incentives. They manipulated you. You know, and that is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about you, General. I'm talking about everyone, us as Man United fans, even myself. They manipulated us to basically say, well, Ineos are making moves. Ineos are cooking. They're getting Baleba. Stop this protest. Stop this protest at once. That's basically what it was. And then we stopped the process. We stopped the protest. And then no Baleba. They won. They won. They manipulated you. No Baleba. Gone. And then when the Baleba deal is going on, when this Baleba rumors is going on, I'm sitting there minding my business. And then I see people coming at me on Twitter and social media. Are you going to apologize to Sir Jim Ratcliffe? I almost spat my coffee out. I choked. I couldn't believe what I was hearing here. I thought, what? Apologize for what? He hasn't even signed Baleba yet. And people are like, well, you see, he's proven you wrong. You better apologize now. Well, even Crooks, right, of TalkSport, the journalist, has called them out. Even them have called them out and said that Jim Ratcliffe has been an absolute disaster. And that is the truth now. We have to start facing reality here, you know? Good morning, Darren. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Next, we got to deal with Garnacho. I see, bro, played on Saturday. Don't worry about Garnacho, Darren. Garnacho's not going to do anything, Darren. Remember these words, Darren. Don't worry about him. He's a fool. Don't worry about him. Kevin was watching Mason Greenwood. He was on fire against Real Madrid. Yep. He's a good player. The Scouse Ninja. Big up the Scouse Ninja. More like Oasis, don't look back in anger. I love that song, by the way. It's actually my most underrated Oasis song. You know, we have to look back, unfortunately, in anger, because at the end of the day, what shapes us, what our past is what shapes us now, isn't it? You know, so you have to look back. At the end of the day, if I planted my foundations to be a successful person in life, right? My past plays a big part in that, right? I know Scouser, you probably just do job seekers allowance, so I would go there, but you wouldn't know about this part. So, joking. So what I would say is that when you're younger, right, you plant seeds to make yourself into a success or whatever you want to do in whatever field you want. So yeah, I'm going to look back and I'm going to be angry that we didn't do this, we didn't do that, and blah, blah, blah. Isn't it? At the end of the day. So there you go. There you go. Little education there for free. Absolutely. First one since 1997. Mark, Ineos said they want to win the Prem by 2028. They said they should be trying to qualify for the Champions League this year as well, didn't they? They better get rid of Shaw, Dalot, Sancho, Permane, and Casemiro and buy 2 midfielders and a right wing back before speaking about winning the Prem. Absolutely, Mark. Spot on, Mark. They talk a good game. And anyway, what I would say, Mark, is that one thing I've learned in life, right, is that never predict the future. Never say, we're going to do this. We're going to do that. Never. Refrain from it. What are we going to do now? What are we going to do now? How are we going to fix the situation? Now, I don't want to know what happens in 3 years' time, 2 years' time. I don't want to know. I want to know what happens now. This is what they should have been done. What they should have done is stop thinking about bloody 2028, because what they're doing is kicking the ball down the road. That's what they're doing. They're buying time. That's what that is. What they should have done is said, right, how do we fix what happened last season? They should have got into a meeting with each other and they should have sat there and said, how do we fix this situation? How do we make this situation better? What was the problem last season? Get Ruben Amorim and say, Ruben, what was the problem last season? And they should have fixed it part by part by part, you know? And they didn't. Darren, Garnacho celebrating with Chelsea like he was a day one, hilarious, but I turned a bit upsetting, like you're seeing your ex with your apps. Don't worry about him, brother. Don't worry about him. He's a clown. Don't worry about him. He's gone, mate. He made a mistake in the game as well. It cost them a goal and 2 points. Would have been a whole new ball game if we got a Baleba and another deal. Exactly, Darren. You know as well as I do, and this is something that we feared when the window was open, isn't it, Darren? That we were going to sit here and we were going to be talking about Baleba and what we should have got. You know, and this is what we had. Big up Scouse Ninja. Watar. What's going on? A Scouse Ninja. Wait, calm down. Watar, calm down. Watar, calm down. Cheeky bastard. Trucker, me keeping the wheels of the industry rolling. Big up Scouse Ninja. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're blessed. Much love, brother. Welcome to the stream. Good to see you. Sanchi. Big up, my friend. Fair play to Amram for trying to clear out the bomb squad, but I can't help thinking he might accidentally create another one when the guys like Manu, Ahmed, Bruno, and a few more. We haven't cleared any bomb squad, and that isn't down to Ruben Amram, really, in regards to not selling them. That's down to Ineos. They should have sold them. We've got Rashford. We've got Sancho. We've got Onana, who could possibly come back to this club in the summer. It'll be return of the bomb squad, part 2. Part 2. That's what it's going to be at the end of the day. Because they haven't really got rid of him. They've only sold a couple of players here, guys. And that's what we have to understand. And all this compliments, living up Ineos' backside, all this rubbish, you know, madness. And the major problem is that the board and executives are not footballing people. They are in the renovation project, not football. Agreed. This is ultimately what it is. This is why we have to change. Basically have to cancel this regeneration project. I know people want a shiny new toy. I know people want a stadium, which was GPT generated, by the way. It wasn't real. It was a lie. So basically what's happened in regards to that? Anyway, the contradiction about Ineos and what they did, as Jim Ratcliffe did say, well, we want to walk to the right destination rather than running to the wrong destination. It's not a regeneration project and a stadium running to the wrong destination. Shouldn't we be thinking about walking to the right destination, which is the team on the pitch? Because at the end of the day, I don't care if we're playing at bloody Hackney Marshes, as long as we're winning on the goddamn pitch. And that's all I care about. That's walking to the right destination. At the moment, they contradicted themselves by running to the wrong destination. Ramaluk is a good player. He's a good player, but he's new and it's going to be difficult. Gary, you think I could be 1%? You could be 1,000,000% right, pal. Absolutely. Now, you know what the most frustrating thing about me? My nature is this, right? My nature is one of a positive kind. I'm a glass half full guy. I learned a lot from Man United during the 90s in regards to Alex Ferguson. I knew about not giving up and giving your all and always believing and stuff like that. I don't want this to sound like a Disney cartoon, but what I would say is this, right? Is that I want to come out every single day and be positive and talk about things that are positive. But I'm sorry, the nature of football right now in regards to Manchester United is not positive. We're not in a positive place, and we can be deemed toxic positive. Now, not everything is doom and gloom. And then the only real spark, as David Beckham said yesterday, the only real spark is that we're only 4 games into the season. I guess that is positive, that we can fix it. And yeah, football is the great equalizer. You can fix it. You can. We get a result against Chelsea. We never know what's going to happen, do we? It could happen. It could all blow up and we can start being positive again. We win the next 3 games, as obviously the buzzword over this last 24 hours has been Ruben Amorim, the next 3 games. He needs to win the 3 games. We win the next 3 games. I think a lot of us will be very positive. And I think it's a very huge possibility that we could do that. But Ruben Amorim has to look at himself in the mirror, just like every single other player, and understand that certain decisions are going to cost you your job. They will cost you your job. Because I don't sit here from the first game of the season against Arsenal. From the first game of the season against Arsenal, I tore apart the team, right? And I said, we need to stop playing Bruno in that midfield position. Why is Bruno in that midfield position? What is he doing there? You know, and we called it out because we foresaw this problem at Man United, you know? Bruno. Keep Old Trafford, mates, absolutely. We are not winning the next 3 games. Put a bet on it, Chilinka. Put a bet on it. I think we will. Starting with Chelsea, I think we will. I got a feeling, and you're going to be surprised, guys. Mark, if Ineos were honest from the start and said it's a shit show, lads, but we will do our best to get the fix ASAP. Instead, they sold us and manipulate the fans with rumors of players they want to buy. They told us after the Hong Kong friendly, Mark, that we are in control. We are relaxed. We are calm. We've been working on this for months. That's what they told us, didn't they? We've been working. This is what Barada said. We've been working on it for months. We are calm. We are relaxed. That was a lie, wasn't it? It was a big lie, big fat lie. Another thing which was a lie, which people seem to forget, is that we're going to buy the football club. We aim to buy the football club in 2026. That was a lie, wasn't it? Another big fat lie, which came out of Jim Ratcliffe's mouth, was Sheikh Jassim Hamid was not real. Well, I don't even know if he's real. There you go. That was a manipulative lie because he obviously was real. He was at the World Club Championship, wasn't he? Where's the apologize? Where's the apologies? Do you trust someone like that? Do you actually trust someone like that who can lie through his teeth and slander other people to gain elevation, to add weight to his narrative, to put a vanity project? Because ultimately, that's what it is. You could do this all you like. You could do that all you like because we've been doing that for years now, and we want to fix this football club. And you had potentially one of the biggest transfer windows in Manchester United's history this summer, and you didn't deliver. And now everyone's on Ruben Amorim's back, like I predicted. For goodness sake, call me Mystic Meg. Like I predicted that everyone is turning against Ruben Amorim now again. Managers to blame. Again, of course. Amorim in, big up LBC. Stop these casuals ruining the club. Absolutely, man. Good up, big up LDBC Killer. Good to see you. Alte was okay. It wasn't his, if he was memory serves me right. I had a few, can't remember. Watara, why are United fans so deluded with Amorim? We have never won back-to-back games in the Premier League with Amorim. Why do they think we will win for next three? Let's be honest with you. Watara, because actually you're not looking at the context of the football. You're not looking at context. You're not looking at how we played. You're not looking at how we were unlucky against Fulham, how we were unlucky against Arsenal. Calling me deluded is a bit like me saying you're deluded being a Man United fan. And I'm an experienced Man United fan. I've been to 500 games. You know that, right? Calling me deluded is a bit like me calling you deluded. Actually, you're a deluded Man United fan. I could say that all day long. Because at the end of the day, why can't we beat Sunderland and Brentford? Why can't we? We went toe-to-toe with Arsenal and we lost on a mistake. If you want to be so pessimistic and you want to be like that, because you want Ruben Amorim to be sacked. He'd never won 2 on a bounce, not looking at the context. The thing with you guys, all right, and I exclude proper fans, all right? Right? The thing with you guys who live in a barn somewhere, a village somewhere around the world, is that you don't actually understand Man United's heritage and history. You don't understand where we come from. You don't understand the history of Man United. All you want is to be right. All you want is to be pessimistic. All you want is just to throw the book. 2 games in a row, 15th place, buzzwords like sheep do. And that's what sheep do. Sorry, brother, but I'm going to be real here. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, coming out here saying he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. You are delusional. That's not an intelligent comment, mate. That's not an intelligent comment. What an intelligent comment is that it's going to be difficult to win the next 3 games, considering we haven't won 2 in a row. But I hope he wins 3 in a row. That is a good comment right there. Paint it for you, right? Let me paint this picture for you, all right? That is a good comment right there. Come in with the pessimism. He's not going to do this. He's not going to do that, right? I find it very difficult to believe your comment, because your comment comes around sinister, and that's all it is. Mark, release AR images of futuristic lights and guitar stadium, but that's not the main problem. Ineos manipulation of information is of the chain. Absolutely, Mark. And another thing, guys, what I would point out is that the people come on this stream and completely neglect the window that Ineos are. You're just peasants and beggars, slaves. That's what you are to Ineos. Darren, and Donnarumma was money well spent. I feel like he was another keeper and Bruno scores. I told these men that Donnarumma was the best goalkeeper in the world. No one wanted to believe me. No one wanted to believe me. You know, I told these men that Donnarumma is the best goalkeeper in the world. And he was worth it, wasn't he? We scored 2 goals without him. And if he weren't in the goal, we scored 2 goals. He probably would have saved the Foden shot, the header. He probably would have saved a couple of those goals. Let's be real, guys, wouldn't he? Guys, Chaninka, I watched her in Charles. When was that? 2007. Guys, Ferguson winning against Arsenal in the FA Cup with Raphael O'Shea. Mate, do you know when I started supporting Man United? When Alex Ferguson took charge of the club and people like you were saying, get Alex Ferguson out in 1986. You want to talk about the things? Do you want me to talk about things? Your IQ is very low. It's very low in football. You don't understand what I've seen. You know, maybe you should listen a bit more and start learning. You saw Gibson and Jonas say, mate, I was bloody working in a job at that, going to football matches. If you want to support this football club, my football club, the community's football club, learn that everything isn't doom and gloom, and you don't come on here saying he's not going to do this, he's not going to do that. Then put money where his mouth is. Put money where your mouth is. You know what I mean? Because you know what? You won't do it because you know. You're just coming on here because you don't like Ruben Amorim. You've listened to other people and other streams, and you've been manipulated like a sheep. You know, and that's it. Own it. Ephraim. I mean, Gibson and that. Flipping hell. Add 30 years to that, mate. 40 years. Now, Sal, how the owner didn't aggressively when we finished 15th. They are the same as the Glazers. Absolutely. Marky Mark. Football IQ, Sal. Seems like some of us have it. Some of us have it. Some of us don't. Watara unfortunately doesn't, but we're here to help Watara. We're here to help you, Watara, get a little bit of ball knowledge, mate. We're here to help you, all right? About life in general. About don't just come in there and say, we're not going to do that, we're not going to do this. We have a little bit of hope. Don't worry. In that, not everything is as clear as day as you say. Diamande, Quenda, Jokeres, Huymond, Ignacio. You want me to go on, mate? Man United are the problem, not Ruben Amorim. Why I tell people study history, don't be doomed and to repeat it. Absolutely, mark him up. They won't do it because they started supporting Man United when Gibson was around. You know what I mean? And started, and don't understand the heritage. They don't want to learn about the heritage. They're not interested in it, you know? Gary. Heard out of Sir Alex's own mouth in an interview after the game, he said, no one man is bigger than the club. He was referring to Ronaldo. He loves CR7, but that would not tolerate players' distraction. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. APN. I want both Martinez and Lemens and Sel Onana and buy in there. Absolutely. Absolutely. Mark, we have to hope for the faith. Otherwise, what's the point? Absolutely, Mark. We might as well go home. What can we expect from wingbacks like Dorgu? Big up football highlights. Still very young. Let's wait and see. He's got a big season this season. Benny, mad idea, Sal. Get Old Trafford marked as a heritage site. Would definitely, yeah, I thought that should have happened a long time ago. Make it harder for the new stadium, and maybe they would refurb Old Trafford. Absolutely. But you know why they're not refurbing Old Trafford, Benny? Do you know why they're not refurbing Old Trafford? It's a simple reason. Because they can't rubber stamp their name around it. They can't put commercial deals around it. They can't make it the Jim Ratcliffe Stadium because they know it's Old Trafford. In regards to the regenerational project, in regards to the new stadium, they could call that the Ineos Stadium, the Jim Ratcliffe Stadium, because it's a new project. But Old Trafford, they can't rubber stamp their name on it. And that's why they don't want to do it. Sal, you keep going about the system. I'm contradicting the system, mate. Manchester United used to be the system. Manchester United used to be the system. Why not that? Because we're not. Absolutely. And that is the players, isn't it? You need the players to be the system. Morning, Tyrell. How you doing? Goodness me. Scouse, listen, I know you've been reading a few books for the first time. I know Spot the Dog is your first book. But let me tell you something, mate. There are other books to read about football and stuff like that, all right? I mean, I'm going to send you my first football book. Let me send you one of these. Absolutely. In fact, let me send you Sir Alex Ferguson's book up here. Maybe that won't jog your memory. Absolutely. Quenda, Diamande, Ignacio, Jokeres. What do you want me to go on? Stop talking out your ass. Chantika, you're saying that I got low IQ. Your mother has low IQ. That's why she gave birth to you. Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Chadika. And good luck in your sheep life. Goodbye. Morning, Tyrell. How you doing? Let me rephrase that. Coached and made any player better. He's only been at there 8 months, for goodness sake, Shanjit. He's only been at 8 months. Give the guy a chance, for crying out loud. How are you going to make a 31-year-old Bruno better? How are you going to make a 35-year-old Casemiro better? How? Please explain to me. He's made Euro better. He's better. He's very good. De Ligt is probably playing some of the best football in his career. You know, what do you want to talk? These are not his players. Give him a chance. It's been 8 months. Bruno, Cunha, Sesko, I've just signed for the bloody football club. It's been 4 games. This is what we're talking about, the reactionary mentality of some Man United fans. They're not patient. They're not patient. They don't understand. You know, the reason I'm here and people like Ouattara are not here is because they don't know anything. They couldn't talk about Man United. They have no idea. You know? Maybe I would have paid for his visa to come over to England and learn about Man United and show him around the history, teach him about the history, maybe, if he was a nice guy. Absolutely. Look, you know what? F them. But what I would say is this, right? Guys, a bit of patience, a bit of understanding about context. You know? All these buzzwords. What's he made better? And then I'll throw something at them. No. What's he made better at Man United? He's just signed his players. He needs to bring in his own players first. He's just signed 3 players, really. You know what I mean? How many times do I have to talk about? I mean, I have to really dumb down sometimes. Honest to God. You know what I mean? Honest to God. It's like I need to have a board here, right, guys, with a felt tip pen, drawing pictures. You know, and that's the only way people are going to understand. You know, absolute craziness, absolute madness, guys. Thank you, everyone. But guys, look, we get awfully passionate on this show, but I will call out bullshit when you come. You can't come on here and insult me. You can't do that. Absolutely not. So you don't have any. What in regards, Sanjay? In regards to Ruben Amorim, if he loses to Chelsea, he will go anyway. I don't need to talk about when he's going to be going. I don't need to be talking about when he's going to be going. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't get results, he's going to go anyway. What's the point of me moaning and crying like a little baby if it's not going to help the football club? Because I actually care about Man United, not just my opinion. I want us to win. And if he goes, I'd support the next manager. But I'm not going to give a prediction. It's too short of a time, mate. Exactly, mate. People are just crazy. I don't know what's wrong with them. 4 games in, he's only just brought in his players, 3 of them, right? And then you're people like, well, who's he made better? And I've just given you about 10 players. A lot of those players at Man United are not his players. They're not. So what are we talking about? Ephraim, if the players do not want to do better, how do you improve them? Exactly. And it's exactly what we said with, I heard exactly the same thing with Eric Ten Hag. The same crap, different day with Eric Ten Hag, you know? The same thing. Guys, thank you for joining me. I will be back later on for Chatterboxer, so don't forget to join me for that. Please, don't forget to smash a like on the video. And don't forget to put your notifications on as well. Subscribe if you're new. Really appreciate that, guys. And guys, you can become a member and you can drop some super chats as well, guys. I always give people a voice, you know? Benny, he brought in 3 players, but when realistically he needed about 7. Give him a chance. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you, Benny. Absolutely. People don't want to do that because they've already made up their mind. They've already made up their mind about it. Do you know what I mean? Guys, absolutely. Take it easy, everyone. Have a great day. Enjoy yourself. And Scouse Ninja, please don't forget to collect your gyro about 6 o'clock today, okay? So don't worry about it, Scouse Ninja. Remember, fish and chips, mate. It's the way to go. Take it easy, guys. See you soon. Take it easy. Peace.